Now, from WYDC TV, this is Big Fox News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Anna Manuel. We begin tonight in Bath, where the Old National Hotel will be up for auction soon. Our Sonia Ellison stopped by there to talk to people about what they would like to see happen with the property.
The Old National Hotel in Bath will be up for auction beginning next month. Bath Village Police posted some old pictures of the historical building on Facebook and announced a sale to the community with the caption, quote, "Let's pray someone brings it back and it isn't turned into low-income housing. Policing in the downtown is tough enough." Bath residents have a lot of different opinions about this.
I don't know where they would get that idea from, because it's never been housing. It's a hotel.
John Bryson and his wife Martha have owned the 4-story property on 13 East Steuben Street since 1983.
It's got 24 rooms.
Each has its own bathroom as well as both restaurant and retail space. The property is fully furnished and will be auctioned by Williams & Williams Real Estate starting Monday, December 11th at 10 a.m. We called and stopped by the Bath PD to ask about the Facebook post, but they did not respond. The Bath PD has limited who can comment, but locals shared the post and reacted on their own pages. One Bath resident shared, quote, "What rubs me the wrong way is posting stuff like that on an account that should be for police to use to help and not push their anti-poverty agenda." Another local commented, quote, "Our town is being taken over by non-tax-paying not-for-profit organizations, causing zero revenue, which in return causes housing prices to continue to climb." Another resident said, quote, "Imagine being mad at affordable housing." Interested buyers can inspect the hotel from December 1st through December 8th.
It's just got so many possibilities, the way people see it.
National Hotel's opening bid is listed at $700,000. Those interested have until December 13th to bid. Sonia Ellison, Big Fox News, Bath.
New York State Police announcing that South Main Street in Horseheads is reopened to the public after explosive materials were removed from a home. Families that were evacuated within this area were given the okay to go back to their homes. However, the home of suspect Michael Hilliard and its adjacent parking is closed until further notice. The investigation continues as troopers say despite the area being safe, they request the public remain clear of the secure area. One person is in critical condition after being hit by a car on the Clemens Center Parkway in Elmira. It happened as he was crossing the sidewalk to Clemens Center Parkway on the corner of East 2nd Street. The man was taken by ambulance to Robert Packer Hospital with a head injury. The driver told police it was an accident and he thought the red light he ran was green. The driver and person hit have not yet been identified. The Southern Tier Food Bank and Tioga Downs Casino Resort have partnered for their 14th annual Turkey Drive. It's happening now and continues until November 23rd. Triple Turkey Thursday is tomorrow, where all donations will be tripled when donating through the food bank's website. Over 7,000 turkeys were distributed last year thanks to community donations. With the rising cost of groceries and gas, the need for families this year will undoubtedly be greater. In Washington, D.C., the race to avoid a government shutdown isn't over yet, but things are looking a lot brighter on Capitol Hill today. Madeline Rivera has more from Washington.
The bill is passed.
Capitol Hill is breathing a little easier this morning after the House passed a short-term resolution Tuesday that will keep the government funded through the holidays.
We don't win when we shut the government down.
House Democrats came to House Speaker Mike Johnson's rescue last night, giving him enough votes to overcome hardliner Republican no's. Johnson's proposal puts forward a two-part process that temporarily funds some federal agencies through January 19th and others through February 2nd, giving them more time to try and pass full-year spending bills.
The government's going to remain open. The people can travel through the holidays, not worrying whether TSA is going to do their job.
This was Johnson's first big legislative test. Conservative members balked at the bill because it does not include the deep spending cuts they had wanted. Still, nobody appears to be seriously calling for Johnson's ouster, despite pulling a move that ultimately cost Kevin McCarthy his job.
Speaker Johnson's in a tough spot, and I think everybody understands that.
The legislation is expected to have an easier time moving through the Senate, where it has already won the endorsements of the chamber's top leaders.
We'll keep working over the course of the day to fast-track the House's bipartisan CR bill. No drama, no delay, no government shutdown.
The bill does not include the White House's request for more aid for Israel, Ukraine, and the border, which will likely play out as another fight on Capitol Hill in the coming weeks. In Washington, Mallory Rivera, Fox News.
The U.S. Postal Service is off to a rough start to its 10-year restructuring plan. The USPS reported a $6.5 billion net loss for the 12 months ending September 30th. The agency says it will not break even next year. The report comes as the agency is in the midst of a 10-year restructuring plan with the goal of eliminating losses and turning profit. The plan was introduced 2 years ago. The USPS is planning to hike up postage rates in January, marking the 5th rate hike since 2021. Turning our attention overseas now, and the fighting is intensifying in northern Gaza as Israeli forces raid the area's largest hospital. It comes as Israel does allow fuel to cross into Gaza. Alex Hogan has more.
Israeli forces extending their control across northern Gaza on Wednesday and raiding the Al-Shifa hospital in the heart of Gaza City. It's the location of what Israel says is a massive Hamas command center. Troops are going room by room looking for military infrastructure, weapons, and hostages. The Biden administration says its own intelligence suggests Hamas uses these facilities, as well as the tunnels below them, to support its operations.
They have weapons stored there and are prepared to respond to an Israeli military operation against the facility.
But there are growing concerns about the hundreds of patients, including babies, in need of aid. Israeli officials say soldiers brought incubators, baby food, and medical equipment to Al-Shifa, adding that their war is with Hamas and not civilians in Gaza.
The IDF forces include medical teams and Arabic speakers with the intent that no harm is caused to the civilians being used by Hamas as human shields.
But the UN says it still hasn't heard from some of the doctors inside that facility. And as the fighting escalates, UN officials say their fuel depots in Gaza are empty. Israel initially rejected allowing fuel into the region over concerns that Hamas would confiscate it. But as of Wednesday, defense officials are allowing more than 6,000 gallons in for humanitarian efforts.
We need to have time in safety for the private sector to operate, to let those trucks in, to let those stocks to be replenished.
Meanwhile, here in the north, Hezbollah is still firing rockets across the border from Lebanon. 15 of those missiles and rockets landed on the hillside here behind our crew. In northern Israel, Alex Hogan, Fox News.
Stay with us. Your complete forecast is next.
Here's your local stock market update from Big Fox. Now, your Twin Tiers forecast from Big Fox.
Good evening. We're at the halfway marker of the week as well as the month, and we've had some gorgeous conditions around for our Wednesday. Underneath that blue sky, watching temperatures climb through those 50s and even into those lower 60s. And we'll see that as we head through the overnight, those clear skies continue allowing for temperatures to at least approach those mid-30s under a light southerly wind, which that southerly wind is going to usher in another beautiful day where we'll start off with those lows just around those mid-30s and then head into a day with those highs approaching those 60s. And you'll want to enjoy it because we are going to be talking some changes ahead. Now we'll step into our Friday with the start of the day being a bit more quiet and pleasant still, warmer than normal temperatures, but we'll bring in some increasing cloud cover that will bring some late rain showers into our Friday overnight. That is going to be associated with a cold front bringing some cooler temperatures for the weekend, which cooler in the means of bringing us back towards those 40s, but we'll also know that there will be a pretty strong flow over the Great Lakes region, which will bring some hit or miss possibility of some lake effect rain to snow showers. So stepping into our Thursday, starting off at 34 degrees, we head into those lower 60s. That keeps us well above normal. Our average high has even fallen below 50 degrees. Now we also are in that time of the year seeing these 60s will definitely continue to become limited, especially with the lack of sunshine as we continue to lose daylight this time of the year, where our sunrise there is just holding before 7 a.m., sunset occurring at 4:45. Now we roll into the day with the sunshine that entire time frame, which is going to be bringing us into those very pleasant 60s for this time of the year. So as we top off just around those lower 60s for Thursday, as mentioned, we are going to start to feel some changes. So get out and enjoy this as much as possible. I know at that early sunset this time of the year, it makes it very difficult. Maybe take a lunch hour break and take it outside, as we won't have any more chances really to get some of those outdoor picnics, at least for the near future. Now we do keep conditions mild for our Friday morning, but what we'll see as we roll throughout the day Friday is that we do have some increase in cloud cover. Still might be able to get out for that lunch hour, but what we'll see is by the end of the day, we'll top off into those lower 60s. So at least 2 more days of above normal temperatures, but then shower chances will be spreading in. And really emphasis on shower. We're not looking at much for accumulation, looking to stay under 1/4 of an inch, closer to 1/10 of an inch. But what will also make getting outdoors a little bit more difficult on Friday is that winds will be increasing with that cloud cover. So getting 25-mile-per-hour gusts, and those gusts stick around for the weekend. So noting some of those stronger winds coming out of the north and even then pulling out of the west, we'll see that that could trigger some of those lake effect showers off of the lakes to the north and west of us. Well, for now, we'll just keep some passing cloud cover with that triggering. Again, it's difficult at times to pull that through the local area, but we will stay cooler and even extend those 40s as we work into next week.